specialist units have been allowed to spend money willy-nilly. That ceased, and they're going to have to get used to working within tight constraints, which is why regularly you'll find people like the mounted branch in fear that their particular aspect of the force might go.
Police horses and mounted police work always tends to carry a question mark over it because we're constantly bounding through new technology and we are seen as antiques, especially small mounted units such as ourselves, because there are always critics who will say that they don't provide a useful policing service.
When police horses were formed back in 1829, the police horse was the different piece of equipment that the forces had. Nowadays, certainly in the last 10 years, we've developed scientific work far beyond that which we would have thought capable. We've got CCTV, we have defensive equipment like CS spray for officers.
And this is the latest addition. The helicopter has had a dramatic effect on crime figures. It's into this new high-tech world that the police horse must find its place. A century ago, when the mounted unit was established in Bristol, they were at the cutting edge of police work. Just 5 years ago, they narrowly avoided the financial chop after a last-minute reprieve from David Shattuck, the then Chief Constable. As more cuts loom, the only mounted unit in the West has to prove it's worth keeping.
This is Somerset. He's an Irish bred horse. He's been here about 2 years. And this one's Venturer. He's also a 6-year-old. Also been here about 2 years. And the one on the end here is Matthew. He's slightly older, roughly about 8 years old. He's also an Irish bred horse. And he was named after John Cabot's ship, the Matthew. And this one here, this is my horse, Taunton Dean. He's 14 years old, Irish Draft Cross Hanoverian. And he's been here about 10 years. He can be a bit of a grump.
To be a good mounted officer, you need to, first and foremost, have empathy with the animal you're riding. Have a complete understanding of how they're trained, understand what they won't do for you as much as what they will do for you, and all the time bearing in mind that they are a living being totally reliant on the rider for confidence.
I mean, it's like this young horse now, he's literally just come to the stables about 6 weeks ago. Obviously he's going to be sharp at the moment, but the training that he will undergo will eventually lead to him becoming a nice, quiet police horse.
Since about the age of 5, I used to go to Avon Carnival with my parents, and I used to watch police horses leading the carnival. I used to always want to be a mounted police officer so I could lead Avon Carnival. And actually last year, I actually led Avon Carnival on Taunton Dean, so it was great.
We deal with the whole spectrum of crimes, anti-burglary initiatives, late-night nuisance patrols around pubs and clubs, in particular towns and cities that have problems. Preventative for particularly nuisance offences are quite a popular issue in the community these days, and we can target and identify nuisance offenders and deal with them appropriately, or even just to provide a high visibility policing presence for a long period of time.
It's 10 a.m. on the first day of the community festival at Bristol's Ashton Court Estate. 2 shifts of 4 officers and forces have been sent to patrol the 840-acre site for 16 hours a day. It's the largest free festival in Europe. The organisers are expecting crowds of over 150,000 to pass through the gates over the next 2 days. The horses operate in teams of 2. On a day like today, with a relatively peaceful crowd, each mounted officer can do the work of 20 of his foot colleagues. They are exceptionally mobile and can cover large areas at speed if needed. But today, they aren't expecting too much trouble.
There's a lovely atmosphere out there. There's a lot of people coming in now. Together with John, we've been patrolling mainly the wooded areas which surround the outskirts of the festival site. The reason for this is that there are opportunities there for people to be robbed, and also drug dealing, drug taking as well.
Well, in the last half hour, it's got very busy. The crowds are piled in, and Darryl and I have done a stop check on someone pushing a push bike. It doesn't sound much, but he was acting rather odd, so we checked out the bike, and he said he bought it from a gentleman as he walked into the park gate, so it's chances are that the bike's stolen. And in a hold all he was carrying, he had over 30 bottles of aftershave, so there's a chance that a chemist or something has been broken into, and that's stolen. So he's been arrested and will be taken to Western Police Station.
Obviously, as you can see around us, there are an awful lot of vehicles. People come here with their party heads on, don't quite think about what they've left behind, and people come here to steal from the cars. We've got a tremendous advantage over our foot duty colleagues because of our height. We're 9 foot up. We can see a great deal into the distance for any wrongdoers. When we stop, the horse is an attraction. They generally want to know their age, their names, where they come from, what it takes to train the police force, and that's really our in to members of the public, and we can chat away, and it does build up a good rapport, especially with the children, because sometimes it might be their first opportunity they've spoken to a policeman, and the horse helps to break down the barriers. But it is an attraction. It's not us, it's the horses.